Hey everybody, get on in here. I'm gonna find us a song right now. Let's see. I think it's gonna be an Eric Dodge song. Where is it's a good thing. Here we go. Come on in.
Take a break Saturday morning, ain't nowhere we gotta be going. Waking up with you right next to me, it's a good thing. Last night sure was something, way you gave me all your loving. It's nice to know some things are meant to be, like you and me, and it's a good thing. Our hearts are true, every little kiss means I love you, and every single touch still feels brand new. And it's a good thing when you can say that love keeps getting better every day. When it comes to us, it's plain to see. It's a good thing. We make plans to stay inside, watch the world just pass on by. Lock the door and let that telephone ring. It's a good thing. We both know in this modern age how easy love can slip away. It ain't gonna happen 'cause baby we believe in you and me, and it's a good thing. Our hearts are true. Every little kiss means I love you, and every single touch still feels brand new. It's a good thing when you can say love keeps getting better every day. When it comes to us, it's plain to see. It's a good thing. When hearts are true, and every little kiss means I love you, and every single touch still feels brand new. It's a good thing that you can say that love keeps getting better.
Good morning, everybody. Get on in here. I know people are going on vacation. Things are happening everywhere. Robert is feeling a little better. He still has not passed that kidney stone. But guess what? It'll probably happen in the next few days. Sometimes it took him 6 months one time. But the pain is over with. Thank you for all your prayers. He is so excited that he did not have to take a super duper pain pill. His pain level was about a 6 on a scale of 10. So y'all kept his pain level down and with your prayers, and the nausea kind of left after about 4 in the morning yesterday, and he's much better now. Justin's checking on Jack. We haven't heard from him this morning. They were about 10 o'clock last night getting into a hotel. It's not a hotel, in a hospital room. Getting into a hospital room. He was in the ER all day long yesterday. His pain level, when I checked last night at 10 o'clock, was about a 5 on a scale of 1 to 10. He has a hole in his gut from diverticulitis. So please pray that this hole heals up, or they can go in and do surgery on it. Just give doctors the wisdom to know what to do, because we need Jack. We need Jack. So everybody, keep Jack in your prayers. Robert's doing better. Justin's back is better. So let's just keep going. Grapefruit juice and an olive oil capsule for, what does that fix? Tina, tell me what that fixes. Please tell me. Oh, okay. Kidney stones. Just talk to Kathy. Left her phone at the hospital. She was back at home. Okay, Kathy Just talk to John. Okay. Kathy must have gone home to sleep. So this is good. This is good. So Kathy needed her rest. She was just worn out. No sleep the night before. That's the way we were last night. We had had no sleep the night before, and we just crashed last night. I didn't get up during the night. So I asked in the title of this Saturday morning, our little musing that we do every morning. You know, I dreamed about doing this many, many years ago, doing little vignettes, and this is what this has turned out to be. I do a vignette in the morning and a vignette in the afternoon, and y'all are loving it. Absolutely loving all of this. So this morning, the dog had really had her way with the couch last night. She wallered all over it. She has a white patch on her chest. And that white patch is similar to the white cat. And I have this dog hair, cat hair mixture. Dog hair, cat hair mixture on my couch. And I couldn't find my Rubba Scrubba. It's what I use on the couch. I just do some quick little, it takes me 1 minute to do the couch. Just short little brush strokes, and couldn't find it. Could not find it. I was going to have to get my vegetable one out from under the sink that I clean veggies with. And I kind of like to keep them all separate because there's a little thing on the back that lets you label them. Lets you label the Rubba Scrubbas. And so I couldn't find my living room couch Rubba Scrubba. I usually keep it underneath my coffee table so that it's always there. Couldn't find it. Walked into the kitchen to fill up my water bottle, and guess where it is? I had taken it into the kitchen in my hand because I didn't do the main rule that you need that I learned from Pam and Peggy. Always check your hands before you leave one room and go into another. Now, when you have an open floor plan like we do, it's hard to realize when you go from one room to the next. So don't leave the couch with the Rubba Scrubba in your hand. Don't leave the couch with the Rubba Scrubba in your hand. And always put it back where it belongs. And that's our biggest issue, is when we get through doing something, we don't put things back where they belong. Liz was telling me the other day, she says, Marla, you practically stopped my procrastination. And I said, how? And she says, anytime I start to put something off and lay something down, she says to herself, only handle it once. So if you take a wrapper off of something, throw it in the trash. Don't lay it on the counter and have to go back and clean your counters off later. Only handle it once. The Ohio method. And put things away when you get something out. Many years ago, right after Robert and I got married, we were going to have Thanksgiving dinner at our house. First time to have the whole family over, I was a nervous wreck. I'm telling you, I was a nervous wreck. I was a county commissioner at the time. And my clerk, Sandra, she was beautiful, born organized person, just a wonderful, loving person, but she was born organized. I don't know how she kept up with all the county commissioner stuff that she did. She was a great clerk. And I walked into her office and I sat down in her chair and I said, Sandra, I need some help. And she says, what? And I said, everybody's coming to our house for Thanksgiving dinner. I can cook, but how do I keep my house clean until Thanksgiving gets here? Because I had done some heroic crisis cleaning. And she just looked at me like I had two heads. And she said, well, Marla, it's real simple. And I said, tell me, please, what's the secret? She said, if you get something out, put it back where it belongs. And it was like this huge light bulb moment went off in my head. If you get something out, put it away. That's what happens. Usually with us, you can follow us through the house and know exactly what we've done all day long. We make a trail. We're kind of like a 2-year-old. We start out here, we want to do a little scrapbooking and have some fun. And so we pull out all our scrapbooking. So it's probably already out on your dining room table. But you know what I'm talking about. You pull out your scrapbooking stuff, and maybe you want to do some coloring and something else. So you go into the living room and you pull out your coloring pencils and your coloring books, and you're going to have some fun with the kids, and you're going to sit down and play with that. And then you got to start the laundry. So you get the laundry going, and it's left in the wash machine, and it's hot and muggy out, and it starts to smell bad because you did it yesterday, and you got to wash it again. Here we go. It's this vicious circle of us chasing our tails. We need to start something, and then when we get finished with it, don't say, I'm going to come back to that later. I'm going to just leave it laying out here. I'll be back to this later, and later doesn't come. This is when I was in the 3rd grade, our teacher during nap time, yes, we had nap time in 3rd grade. We had our little pallets. We would lay down on the floor, and we would have to close our eyes, which is good for us to close our eyes for a little while. She read us the Little House on the Prairie books. And those books were just absolutely wonderful. This family, Little House in the Big Woods, it was all of them. And she read them to us. I guess that's where I developed my love of audio books, is hearing somebody read to me. Robert has read to me before the Arabian Nights, 1001 Nights. But with Ma and Pa Engel, Ma had a basket with her sewing in it. So if she needed to mend a shirt, she had her needle and thread, or if she needed to mend socks, anything like that was in the basket ready to go. So when it was break time, she would sit down by the fire, get her little basket out, and mend whatever needed mending. And then she'd put her basket back where it belongs. It sat by the fireplace. I remember this so well, even in the TV series. And it was just, she had it ready to go. Now, when I first moved to Transylvania County, North Carolina, became a county commissioner. I was on a lot of committees. And one of the committees had to do with the National Forest. And I went to a meeting up there, and a head forest ranger, I forget his name, but he was a nice man. He told this story because we live in the cradle of forestry. This is where our forestry practices were first started in this country. And it has become practices for all over the world. And he told a story about, people would come in here and they had timber cruisers. And the guy Robert plays chess with used to be a timber cruiser. We had this is a national forest that we live in. It was the first national forest that was ever purchased for like 5 cents an acre. Look up Pisgah National Forest sometime. And he told a story about these 6 timber cruisers, and they would go out and they would cut trees. They would cut trees, and the trees would get drugged by mules. And there's pictures in our courthouse. It's absolutely beautiful. All these wonderful, wonderful pictures of the early days in Transylvania County. And he said, but this one young whippersnapper, he was determined to cut the most trees in one day. And so he cut 7 or 8 trees, which is unheard of because they're using a saw that would go back and forth and one man on each end, or they would use an axe to fell a tree. And he would do all of this stuff. And sure enough, first day he cut the most. Well, the next day, he didn't cut as many. So on the third day, he decided he would skip breakfast and head out into the woods early and get a head start on the other guys. And so he headed out into the woods to cut these trees, and he cut even fewer than he had the day before, which was not as many as he'd cut on the first day. And so he decided to skip lunch. So he's not taking care of himself. He's not getting breakfast. He's not taking breaks. He's just working straight through. And finally, the head timber cruiser calls him over and says, "Son," he said, the young man said, "What am I doing wrong? How come I can't do this? I want to cut as many trees as the other guys. What am I doing?" And he sat him down and he said, "Son, you got to take a break. And while you're sitting there resting your body, you take out your file and you sharpen your axe. You just sit there and rest, and you're doing little busy work, sharpening your axe. But you know what that's doing? That's really keeping you sharp, keeping you ready to go, keeping your tools ready to go. You take a break, sharpen your axe, and there you have it." Now, how beautiful is that? We have to take breaks sometime. So you're taking a break at 11 o'clock in the morning listening to me. And you're going to take another break at 3 o'clock in the afternoon listening to me. And you're sharpening your axe at the same time. Now you can get out your notepad and you can start your grocery list. Or you can sit down and think of the things you've been procrastinating about and make a procrastination list. You know what you've been procrastinating. We can take care of ourselves. And we can do little busy work while we're sitting, letting our bodies rest. I love it. I love it. Sharpening your axe. And this is a great thing to share with others. So sitting down and taking a break time is not taking away from work time. It's really getting things done and focusing yourself. So when I told my clerk, Sandra, that I was having issues, one of the things that I put into place was making a list of 5 or 6 things that needed to be done. 5 or 6 things. And then I would just roll a dice. Just roll a dice. I numbered them 1 to 6, so whatever number came up, I did that thing. Procrastinate on paper. Oh my. My doctor, Dr. Carly Brown, you should follow her on Facebook. Her Facebook, the page is Ashwell Medical. Ashwell Medical. Ashwell Medical. And she wrote a great piece last night on death and sadness and depression. And it was just absolutely beautiful because this time a year ago, my sister Leanne passed away this week of a year ago. And my and Patty's sister and Dina's sister Leanne passed away. And she talked about that she learned in medical school that 6 months is a good time to allow the mourning to happen. And then if it goes past that, it's prolonged depression. You should read her story. You should read Dr. Brown's essay. It was absolutely beautiful. And I thanked her for being there for me last year. Because I called her up and I said, you know, my sister just died. I want to do everything I can to not have a heart attack. So we put some things into practice, and it's working. Things are working. I feel good. I feel better than I ever have. I've got more energy. I take fewer naps. I'm talking with you. I am talking with you every day, which keeps me grounded. Yeah, it does. It keeps me grounded. It's the best medicine for me because I found my purpose. Not finding your purpose. Dr. Brown's Facebook page is Ashwell Medical. Ashewell, I believe. Ashwell Medical. So I'm having fun. Well, I will see you at 3 o'clock this afternoon. We're going to be pulling a little topic out of our Wise Oh Wow. Don't forget about our specials we got going on. Calendars. Get your calendars. Get your calendars. This little one, people are finding lots of fun ways to use this little one. August will be here in no time at all. 20 years ago today. No, not 20. 50 years ago today. 50 years ago today. I was in the mountains of East Tennessee for the first time in my life. And I came here with a lovely family and a girl that was my age. She was my girlfriend. She lived next door to us. Her name was Martha John, Jon, Martha John Eachus. So if anybody of you knows Martha John Eachus, tell me, because Martha John lived in Churchill, Tennessee, and we came up here with her family. I will never forget this because we watched the landing on the moon on a little TV, sitting on a staircase, watching them land on the moon. And I have a rock that I got out of the river that's sitting on my windowsill in the living room that is from that vacation. It's my first time I ever collect. I had never seen a smooth rock. I had never seen a creek that was running clear, running smooth, running clean and clear. And I'll just never forget it, ever. Coming up here and being with that family for the space, landing on the moon. It was a big deal for me because I watched every space shot from the time I was in elementary school. My mother let me stay home from school to watch them. So that was a great time. I was, let's see, I'm 63 now. I was 13, 50 years ago. I was 13. Little kid. But I can't find Martha John Eachus. And she was from Churchill, Tennessee. I've looked and looked and looked and can't find her. I would like to thank her and her family for the kindness that they showed me as a child. It was just wonderful. So everybody, next week we're going to be in our master bedroom. So that means we're going to do some detail cleaning and get rid of some clothes because we know how that is. We know how those clothes are. Robert's doing much better today. He still hadn't passed his kidney stone, but he'll be fine. He'll be fine. Well, I grew up on the land between the lakes, kinda. My father-in-law had a cabin on the land between the lakes, so I know the lake well. Went to camp in Paris, Tennessee, Girl Scout camp. Camp Hazelwood is on the lake. I love you all. I will see you at 3 o'clock, and we'll get something good out of this Wise Oh Wow. I'll talk to you later.